Hello, welcome to Cooking with Johnny Burnett. Me here, back in the kitchen in Bristol, and today we are doing fish and chips. We're using beautiful Cornish haddock, lovely potatoes from my local greengrocer, and Butcombe Ale, proper Bristol beer. It's a winter treat. Now make sure you subscribe to the channel. Every week I am doing these awesome recipes for you, and who doesn't love fish and chips, right? No deep fat fry here in the house, so I'm using a pan. I'm doing it the old school way. And once you nail this recipe once, ladies and gents, you're gonna wanna do this week in, week out. It's absolutely gorgeous. So let's crack on and do it. So first of all, we are gonna make some beautiful chippies. What we wanna do is parboil them first. So I'm doing this for around 3 to 4 people. So I've got 5 to 6 decent sized potatoes, and I'm just cutting them down into discs and then cutting those discs into chip shapes. You can do them however you want them, chunky, skinny, whatever you fancy. I'm doing nice, medium to large, chunky chips, and I'm gonna cut them all up like this, put them in some cold water, bit of salt, and then get them onto the boil. Whilst the chips are on the boil, let's go ahead and make this lovely red onion and dill tartar sauce. For the tartar sauce, you want 1 red onion finely diced, a handful of dill chopped up nice and roughly, and then 1 handful of capers drained and chopped. Put it all into a bowl, or in my case, a jug, and mix with 4 to 5 tablespoons of mayonnaise, heaped. This will give you plenty of portions of the tartar sauce. It'll keep in the fridge, and I like to finish off with a generous pinch of salt to season the entire sauce. Now some people are going to say, tartar sauce, you need shallots, you need parsley, I say bugger off. It's lovely like this. Red onion, dill, fragrant, colourful, gorgeous, simple, it's easy. And dill lasts a lot longer in the fridge than parsley. It's just a fact. You know, that dill will stay in there for a week, over a week maybe. The parsley would have died and got wilted after a few days. So, hey, don't shoot me. I'm doing red onion, capers, dill. It's simple, it's lush. Right, now let's go check on the chips. What we're looking for here is for it to parboil and soften up more on the outside, okay? When it does that, you're gonna get a crispier chip. These will need another 8 to 10 minutes still. Now, the most important thing, apart from having great fish for fish and chips, is the beer batter. Same as anything really, you get what you put into it. Don't use a cheap rubbish beer, use something quality, and let's go and make the batter now. For the beer batter, you want 150 grams of plain white flour, good generous pinch of salt, a few cracks of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda, and 250 millilitres of lovely ale or beer. Give it a good whisk and whisk it until you have a lovely pattern just emerge for 2 to 4 seconds on the top of your batter, okay? You just want to leave that imprint there, no longer. If it stays there for longer, it's too thick. If it doesn't stay there at all, it's too thin. So you want this consistency, okay? Okay, so those chips, they took about 15 to 20 minutes in the water to get to a nice consistency. They're cooled down, they're rinsed. We're gonna use the same pan, fill it halfway up with vegetable oil, and get it to 170 degrees to deep fry the chips and to deep fry the fish. So what I've done here, I've drained the chips in the colander, as I said, and then I've lined the tray and I popped the chips onto that lined tray with the paper towel to soak any excess moisture, because you do not want those wet chips going into a hot fryer. That is what you call a disaster in the making. Whilst these are frying, make sure you get the oven preheated to 170 degrees. This will keep the chips crisp whilst we're cooking the fish. Whilst those chips are bubbling away, we're gonna get this beautiful haddock ready to deep fry. I mean, look at the size of it. It's absolutely stunning. Now, what you wanna do, if you wanna do the whole thing, that's fine. But I mean, this big boy isn't gonna fit all in my fryer, you know? So, I'm just gonna use one side, perfect amount now. And I'm just gonna pop it on there and then just dust with some flour on both sides. So having a haddock in the flour, just covered, lightly dusted, is gonna help the fish stick to the batter even better, and you're gonna get a more crisp, just a better fish and chips. So it's really worth doing this step. that's another 3 minutes left, maybe 5. They look absolutely gorgeous, especially with the skin on. I'm a big skin on chip fan. I just think it gives it a little bit more, just something a bit better, you know? Okay, now the chippies are done. We're just gonna get those over onto the lined tray and stick them in the oven. Look at that colour on them. That is absolutely proper job, isn't it? Pop the haddock into the batter, submerge it into the batter, really work it in there, and then you want to carefully wiggle it into the oil. Mind your hands, but do not just drop the fish in there, because then it will stick to the bottom and you'll get tears in your batter. Slowly work it through there, and once you've popped it in the oil completely, give the pan a shake so the fish doesn't stick to the bottom, and then we're going to let it deep fry for around 4, 5, 6 minutes. After 2 minutes, just give the fish a turn, so make sure you're cooking it evenly on both sides. So the fish is cooked now. It's been there for around 4 to 5 minutes. It's got a beautiful colour on both sides. And we're just going to let it drain for a minute and get all that excess oil out, okay? Just going to pop it down onto this paper towel. Now it's going to give it a nice season with salt. And probably everyone's favourite sound here, the chips being seasoned and tossed in a bowl, huh? Now, onto the plate, nice and simple. A nice bit of tartar sauce here on the side. And voila, you have gourmet fish and chips ready to eat. So ladies and gentlemen, here we are, the fish and chips. Look at it. I mean, that fish is just beautiful. And these chips, and look at those, hey? That is chip shop quality. And even better. Oh, but you're getting that lovely, lovely fresh fish in there. That's absolutely gorgeous, it really is. Everything on this one, lovely. Beautiful batter, lovely cooked fish, tartar sauce. Now we know how to make fish and chips at home, everybody. We can do this one week in, week out. It's super simple and a nation's favourite. I hope to see you next week at Cooking with Johnny Burnett. Any questions? Give me a shout and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next week.